Mississippi State is going to gamble all the way.
New this morning, our big story, the voice of Mississippi State has died. Coming up, remembering legendary broadcaster Jack Cristil.
Try Jesus, not gun.
And the gun tax holiday has some people upset. More on the demonstrations against the Second Amendment weekend in Mississippi. 16 WAPT News continues right now.
This is 16 WAPT News, live at 6, Jackson's #1 news.
Good morning, everyone, on this Monday, September 8th. Developing right now, growing concern over a mystery virus, Marcus.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Keegan. It is a respiratory illness ahead this morning where doctors are seeing a rise in cases among children. And also, new overnight, wind has its way with some small planes where some folks are cleaning up after some nasty weather.
Well, speaking of the weather, let's take a live look outside this morning using our South Jackson Skycam. What are we dealing with out there? Here's Brittany Bell with weather first.
We are getting out to a quiet start to this Monday morning, and some spots are seeing some patchy fog. But right now, most of us are waking up to temperatures in the lower 70s across the area. Over to our maps, it's 72 degrees in Jackson, 72 as well in Brookhaven, and down to 70 degrees in Lexington. So as we head throughout the day, we'll have bright sunshine, puffy clouds, and highs topping out in the lower 90s. We could also see a few isolated showers this afternoon, but most of us will stay dry. And we are in for some nice and pleasant changes for the end of the week. I'll have more on that in just a few.
Well, new this morning, the passing of a legendary voice of Mississippi State athletics.
Mississippi State is going to gamble all the way. It's 28-27. They're going to go for the two-point conversion attempt.
That's the voice of Jack Cristil, the beloved former sports broadcaster for Mississippi State University. He died yesterday at 88 years old. He was in Tupelo in hospice care where he had been battling complications with kidney disease and cancer. Cristil served as the voice of the Bulldogs from 1953 to 2011. And the news broke last night and this morning. A lot of folks have been talking about Mr. Cristil on Twitter this morning. We're going to show you some of the tweets. Folks also sharing their pictures of Mr. Cristil. As you can see, so many Mississippi State fans and also just sports fans around Mississippi sharing their thoughts and love and showing their condolences for Jack Cristil and his family. Well, also new this morning, another notable death. The founder of Chick-fil-A passed away earlier this morning. A spokesperson says S. Truett Cathy was surrounded by family members at his home. The 93-year-old opened his first restaurant in Atlanta back in 1946. He eventually founded Chick-fil-A by 1967. Today, his fortune is worth around $6 billion. Well, happening today, a big job fair for restaurants, Keegan.
Marcus, is scheduled to begin in just a few hours in Ridgeland at the Renaissance. 16 WAPT's Emily Alexander joins us live from the Hyatt to tell us all about it. Emily.
Yeah, Keegan, I'm in the conference room at the Hyatt Place across from the Renaissance where that job fair will be today for Seafood Revolution. Now, we first told you about this restaurant a few months ago. Two world-renowned chefs, John Folse and Rick Tremonto, are opening the restaurant, and they plan to serve fresh seafood right from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. The big story today, though, the job fair. They're looking to fill about 150 positions, including cooks, bartenders, hosts, and plenty more, and that's going to be here at the Hyatt Place on Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you can't make it out today, they'll have another job fair next Monday during those same hours. For now, live in Ridgeland, Emily Alexander, 16 WAPT News.
All right, thanks, Emily. And we do have some more restaurant news this morning. A new Outback Steakhouse is having its grand opening today. The new location is in Flowood on Parkway, which is off of Lakeland Drive near Airport Road. A ribbon cutting is scheduled for 10:45 this morning, and the restaurant is also giving 50% of its sales today to Blair E. Batson Children's Hospital. Breaking news this morning, 4 children killed in a fire on Chicago's South Side. Flames ripped through an apartment building in the city's Roseland neighborhood. There's no word yet on how old the children were. 2 adults were badly injured in that fire. They are in critical condition. Several others were hurt jumping from that building. Right now, no word on what caused the fire. Authorities in Simpson County are trying to find 2 murder suspects. Police say a husband found his wife tied up and stabbed to death in their home. The victim is 64-year-old Neoma Durr. Now, the sheriff's department says Durr's husband got home in time to see 2 suspects running from the house. The state's first sales tax holiday on guns was met with some protests.
Try Jesus, not gun.
Community members joined Hinds County Supervisor Kenneth Stokes outside the Mississippi Trade Mart yesterday. A gun show was being held there where customers took advantage of the sales tax holiday. But Stokes says more guns means more violence.
We need to send a message in this community that we're sick and tired of gun violence, and we're sick and tired of having all these funerals.
We do our best to be able to make sure that the people that do those type of things do not receive guns from here.
One of the gun vendors says he saw a 30% increase in business because of the Second Amendment holiday. The University of Mississippi is facing criticism for incorporating religion with its football team. The Clarion Ledger reports the Freedom from Religion Foundation has concerns over the hiring of football chaplain John Powell. The group fights for the separation of church and state. It sees the hiring as an inappropriate endorsement of religion by a public university. The group has filed a public records request with the school to find out how much public money was spent on the chaplain. The group says it could take additional action. And this brings us to our question of the day. Should a public university have a team chaplain for athletic events? Ken says, why is it that this group singled out Ole Miss? Other universities have had team chaplains for years, even others in Mississippi. You can let us know what you think about this topic on Facebook or on Twitter. A popular ESPN personality is set to speak in Jackson tonight. Brad Edwards, who attended Jackson Academy, will address the Touchdown Club. The group meets during football season. They bring in speakers, including personalities like Edwards and college coaches. Edwards is talking to the group tonight at the River Hills Club. 10 organizations are looking to open charter schools across the state. Mississippi's Charter School Board received letters from 17 schools and 11 districts, including 4 with Jackson locations. The board has already approved one school, Reimagine Prep, to open in Jackson in the fall of 2015. The board will vote on the other applications in December. Happening today, former New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin must report to prison. He's due to report to a federal prison camp in Texarkana, Texas by noon to begin serving his 10-year sentence. Nagin was convicted in February on 20 of 21 public corruption charges, including bribery, money laundering, and tax evasion. Developing this morning, doctors are on the lookout for a mystery virus that has sickened more than 1,000 children. Hospitals across the Denver metro area are on alert. The condition is debilitating for children and teenagers with asthma. Doctors say the virus is rare and they don't even know when it first appeared or why so many cases have been reported recently. Since August 18th, more than 900 children have been treated and 86 have been admitted to the hospital. Marcus, a heartbreaking loss for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, that's right, Keaton. It was a nail-biter in Atlanta last night or yesterday afternoon as the Falcons were taking on their rival, the Saints. And this one went down like this. Second quarter action, Saints up 13-0. Matty Ice, Matt Ryan throws right, hooks up with Roddy White for the 2-yard touchdown. Falcons will get on the board then. But then a little bit later, Drew Brees being Drew Brees and finds Brandon Cooks in the back of the end zone for the touchdown, 20-7. Saints will have a lead at that point. But then this game would be decided in overtime, and the Saints would come up short thanks to a fumble in OT. The Falcons would go on to win, and by the final score of 37-34, the Saints open their season up 0-1. Also new overnight for the AFC champion Denver Broncos hosting the Indianapolis Colts. Julius Thomas putting up big numbers for the Broncos last night. He caught 7 passes, 104 yards, 3 touchdowns, and all of those touchdowns from that guy right there, Peyton Manning. Denver gets their season off to a win with a 31-24 victory over the Indianapolis Colts. And to check this out, Indy, here's something you don't see every day folder from the Steelers-Browns game Sunday. Antonio Brown, he kicks the punter right in the face as he's returning the punt. Now, there was a flag thrown for unnecessary roughness. The punter, Spencer Lanigan, well, he took it in stride, even tweeted a picture of himself being kicked in the face right there by Brown. The Steelers, to add insult to injury, they also went on to win the football game. Well, the owner of the Atlanta Hawks is selling his share of his NBA franchise after some racist remarks that he made back in 2012. Now, Hawks owner Bruce Levinson voluntarily reported his racist emails to the NBA back in July. Now, in the emails, he says he made some cliche assumptions about whites versus blacks and about stereotypes to their perceptions of one another. This incident comes just 5 months after former LA Clipper owner Donald Sterling was banned from the NBA for life for making his own racist remarks. Well, new overnight, there has been another attack on women at the University of Florida, Keegan.
Marcus, this makes the 5th one in 2 weeks. The school sent out an alert on Twitter about a battery on campus in Gainesville. The description of the suspect appears to match that of the man seen in this surveillance video, who is suspected in last week's attacks. Now, the violence has concerned many at yesterday's Florida Gators football game.
It's pretty scary, but I always travel in packs because I don't want to be alone and I don't want to get attacked.
We're all being careful, cautious, traveling in groups of 2 at least or more.
The suspect is described as a tall man in his 20s with brown hair and a beard. New overnight, strong winds blew through an Atlanta regional airport and damaged several planes. At least 4 planes were overturned and about a dozen others were damaged last night. Emergency crews were out investigating the incident, and they say they will be determining the extent of the damage in the coming days. Well, when it comes to our weather, we're going to take a live look outside right now at downtown Jackson. It's a beautiful shot, actually, of the sky this morning. What about the temperatures this morning? Brittany Bell has an update just ahead. Also coming up, a competition honoring Scottish heritage. Just ahead, we'll tell you about the Highland Games. You're watching 16 WAPT News.
Closed captioning of 16 WAPT News is brought to you